Hello and welcome to tonight's weather video. We've had a little bit of a thaw, and we'll just talk about the little mini thaw we've had. We've gotten above freezing for at least yesterday, and some parts got above freezing again today. You can see clouds. We've had clouds in and out today, but yesterday was a very nice clear day. And I did go to New Jersey. The conditions were absolutely treacherous, but it was beautiful, as you can see there. And then the evening, the moon was rising over the Barnegat Bay, and this is really, that moon was really an unusual color. Look at that orange. I don't know what that was from, but it was really kind of cool to see. But today we had a lot of clouds around, and temperatures are generally in the 20s right now. Actually, 21 at Islip. There may be some radiational cooling tonight with very light winds and just a few clouds. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, West Hampton is down to 10. So we are seeing radiational cooling, and it got down to 2 this morning, apparently, at West Hampton, after hitting 34 today. So that's pretty impressive. Islip got up to 31 today, and they got down to 12 last night. So last night, we did get some radiational cooling last night, I guess, a little bit. We'll take a look and see how New Jersey did. They got up to 36 today. Their low was 12, so not quite as cold. And they got above freezing again. So we'll look at the highs across the map today. And see the highs generally. Islip only got to 31. Most sites did get to freezing, except for Islip. Farmingdale got to 34. Central Park got to 33. Even West Hampton got to 34. Ocean County there, and Toms River, 36. And to our north, it was a little colder. Yeah, a little bit colder. But still, most places got to around the freezing mark. And the lows this morning, 2 degrees at West Hampton, 10 degrees at Shirley, 12 degrees at Islip, 12 degrees at Farmingdale. Wow, my alley only got to like the mid-20s, I think, and that was it. Like LaGuardia, 24. That was it. Or Central Park, 23, and 12 degrees there at Miller Air Park there. So, I didn't get into any of that. And believe it or not, the alley is, even though it's in the 20s outside, the alley is 38 degrees. 38. Yep. Ow! So, anyway, let's go to the climate statistics for the day. High of 31 and a low of 13. 10 degrees below normal for the day. And then we go to yesterday, where yesterday we got up to 32 at Islip. So we did make it to the freezing mark. No major big freezing streak, below freezing streak. It ended well before setting any records. And we were 8 degrees below normal yesterday with a low of 15 in the morning. So, so our below freezing streak technically has ended, but we're going to be entering another period of below freezing weather because we have a cold front coming. Looking at the Weather Prediction Center, you can see there's a cold front in a weak low pressure area that's going to go over the mid-Atlantic and bring some more snowfall and might brush southern New Jersey. But for the most part, we are probably not going to see too much in the way of snowfall. This is the system right here. It's kind of not very strong, and it's going to probably most likely stay to the south, as you see here. Looking again across the weather map here, and they've had some record cold even in Cuba and Jamaica, I was reading. If we go down here, you can look at some of these observations out of Cuba. Let's see here. All right, they only got up to 7. They got down to 48 this morning. That is cold for Cuba. That is very cold. Very cold. And yesterday was even colder. February 1st, they were only around 60 for a high. That's really ridiculous. For Cuba, this is the tropics we're talking about here. So, very interesting stuff. Very interesting. Jamaica, too, got some record cold, and so did the Florida Keys, I think. They only got up to 65. Their low was 52. And then the day before, February 2nd, they were only 50s for Key West. That's absolutely crazy. So that's the kind of stuff that was going on, and these records are just something to really, I'm kind of curious to just see if Key West set any records. The Key West, I don't know if they have what weather service that is. Key West office here. So let's see if they had any records that were set recently. Not sure. They don't really have anything on their social media, of course, about it. But I have a feeling they did probably set some records. I'll say their climate. I got to go to their climate information here and see if they had record. I'm just curious if there was a record set. I can't even find it. Climate graphs. Not quite what we were looking for. Well, I tried. They don't make the information easy, and every weather service office is always different, but I'm sure they had some record cold there as well. But there's no link to very, very sparse information on this site. So maybe here we go. Maybe we can go over here. Yeah, let's see. Here we go. All right, so let's see if they had any records here the past couple of days. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, that low of 49 was a record. Broke the record set in 50 set in 1980. Wow, that's impressive. They only hit 58 that day. For Key West, that is just ridiculously chilly. So really impressive how far that cold air went, how far south it went. So let's go to the models now, and we'll just actually first go look at the satellite image here. You can see there's another low, and here's another cold front coming through. So the milder weather we have, the temperature is going to start going down again. So let's look at the models now, and we'll go to the European model here, and you can see here there's a weak system there. The European is not even showing anything hitting New Jersey at all. So I don't think we'll see any snowfall from this. But you can see there's another high that builds in. There's a storm that bombs out over the middle of the ocean there. But that's going to be far away, not going to really impact us in any way. And here comes that Arctic front for the weekend, which I'm going to talk more about on Thursday and Friday. And you'll see there that it will bring some snow. And there's another low that forms offshore, well offshore, but there's going to be a tight pressure gradient, and that's going to really crank the winds up on the weekend. And it's going to make it feel, between the temperatures and the teens, it's going to make it feel like really just unbearably cold. So let's go look at the HRRR model here. And you can see, again, there's just a chance of a light flurry over southern New Jersey. It's not going to really amount to anything. There's that system going by to the south, and then this goes out till, again, Thursday night. So looking at our dew points and wind flow, you can see here that the winds kind of stay in the northwesterly direction. Our dew points don't drop too much tomorrow. This is polar air that we're getting, not Arctic air yet. So see the dew points in the teens. But then as we get into Thursday, you start seeing a little more of a drop in the dew points a little bit. So a little sign of some colder air, especially as the winds start working from the north. Tonight, if there's radiational cooling, teens are possible, maybe even colder in some areas. Though who knows if the alley's even going to get below freezing. And then for Wednesday, similar temperatures to today, maybe a tad colder. Well, I should say a tad colder, just a couple degrees colder. Upper 20s for highs. And then the temperatures at night are going to drop quite. And with this radiational cooling, could get down to 0 or definitely in the single digits. For everybody else who doesn't see radiational cooling, you're probably going to have lows probably in the teens probably. However, my alley, we all know the deal with that. And then for Thursday, a little bit colder now. Thursday is going to be colder. Highs only in the mid to upper 20s, so it won't even get close to 30 on Thursday. And then we'll go ahead and we'll look at this Arctic front here. Before I do that, let's just look at a few soundings for tomorrow. We will start with clouds, but I think they tend to clear out toward the afternoon. And then Thursday, we'll probably have mostly sunny skies. Let's see what this looks like. Those lines are a little close together, but we'll have to see. We'll go ahead and we'll look at some cloud models after I go ahead and just give you a preview of what's going to be happening this weekend on the Euro, and get to see this Arctic front pass through again. So here's Thursday. The winds turn north and a little northeasterly. They stay out of a northerly direction, northeasterly on Friday. But here comes this plunge. All right, so it looks like it's being slowed down more and more. Now it looks like it's not really going to start coming in until later on Saturday now. And you can see here that the real Arctic air tends to go off to the west. It's kind of a weird setup here where the storm's actually pulling in milder air, and then the Arctic air is going to come down. So it's not going to really come down until later in the afternoon Saturday, And then Saturday night and Sunday is really when you're going to be feeling it. Look at how low those 2 points are with those northwest winds howling. And it's going to be pretty brutal. So looking at the European, again, still cooling off at night. Friday will probably only be in the 20s again. But then here comes that plunge. And you can see here, Saturday we make it into the 20s on Long Island, but then the temperatures drop from west to east. And then this is a little less, we'll see what Sunday looks like. Originally Saturday we were supposed to struggle to get to the teens. That's not going to be had. Obviously it's being delayed on the Euro. So it doesn't really come in until later Saturday night. And then we start seeing the temperatures drop to single digits, maybe close to 0 in the morning. And then Sunday, we're struggling to reach the teens, I think. So Sunday is going to be absolutely frigid. And then Monday, we're still dealing with the cold air. So it looks like that's what the Euro has. It slowed down a little bit. Let's see if the GFS is featuring the same kind of thing or not. GFS is more aggressive in bringing it in. So we do have a little bit of a disagreement here in the models as to how fast this Arctic air is going to come in. And I'll have a better idea by Thursday night, I guess. But not going to focus too much on that, just the rest of the next couple of days here. So let's go to the RGM. We'll look at the sky cover. And we'll go here. So as we go into tomorrow, you'll see we'll start with clouds. So the 0Z run starting clouds in the morning then. Should actually have plenty of sunshine by the afternoon. Maybe some high clouds moving into the south, off to the south and west, but it's showing plenty of sunshine by actually for much of the day. And then there's some clouds that brush by to the south tomorrow night. And then for Thursday, we should have mostly sunny skies as well, according to this model, though I'm a little concerned about Q buildup. And then Friday, we'll see more in the way of clouds. And we'll talk more about that Arctic front. I think we'll have a better idea on Thursday night, I think. Well, much better idea of how that's all going to work. We'll pick one more cloud model. Let's go to the FE3 here. This is the FE3. Again, showing mostly sunny skies. Clouds kind of coming to the south later on. And then for Thursday, it's showing sunshine, but then there could be some clouds developing late in the afternoon, according to this. Maybe a little bit of instability. I think both days should feature more sunshine than today did. So that'll be the good news on that. So I guess that wraps things up from here. So, and again, if you want to get outside and enjoy this, it's the torture because you want to get out of here and you want to enjoy this beautiful scenery here. But if you look down on this picture here, you'll see here all the snow and the ice. Well, this is ice. So this is all ice here, and this is ice. Hard ice, and sometimes you fall through, but sometimes you don't. But it's very, very slippery stuff, and really miserable to walk on. So absolutely horrible to walk on this stuff. And this is New Jersey, but I imagine Long Island. Maybe it's a little softer here, but it's just horrible conditions to walk in, and this stuff isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So there you go. So anyway, that wraps things up. Sure, you want to get out there and see some of this, and I definitely want to, but I'm going to have to try to stick to paved places as much as possible until this stuff melts. So, anyway, have a good night.